Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? So today we were going to continue on with the topic of bullies. Just going through the old videos from the previous channel that I had. And this was a big topic at one stage. I talked about it a lot. But I've been guided lately to go back and watch the old videos and listen to the information there, because the information in those videos was still coming from the human experience. They were coming from ego, from the separate I. And so listening to them and coming back now to talk about these same topics, new information comes up. We're expanding constantly. So what they wanted to bring through in this video about bullies is, what were you being? What were you being? What frequency were you emitting at the time? What were your thoughts? What were you thinking about yourself when you were being bullied throughout those months, years, however long it was? What were your thoughts about yourself? What were you focusing on? Because originally, in the videos that I'd posted up, I was talking about, I was a prime suspect for bullying. I should have been bullied at school. If it had anything to do with how I looked, if it had anything to do with the external, I should have been bullied. I was wearing glasses, I had short hair, and I had crooked teeth. And none of those things were... The crooked teeth might have been more common, but the glasses and the short hair in a girl were not common at the time. And I looked like a complete geek, which I was. I mean, I was always reading books, like I own it. I don't have a problem with owning that I was a nerd, but I should have been picked on. I should have been bullied. This is what came up one day when I was creating a video on my old channel, and I thought, why wasn't I? Why wasn't I? When so many were. But then so many are not. So many children are not bullied. So it begs the question, why? Why were you bullied? And if you keep looking at it from the point of view of being a victim to this bully, you will never be free of that experience. We are not here to look at ourselves as the victim in this channel. In the old channel, it was all about looking at the victim, looking at ourselves. We are the victim and trying to free ourselves from being the victim. But in this channel, there are no victims. In this channel, we are owning who we are. We are about looking at what we were thinking, what we were feeling, what was going on in your head. When you left in the morning, you're getting ready to go to school. What were you thinking about before going to school? Oh, yes, probably by the time this bully thing was established, you were like, oh no, the bully. I've got to face that bully again today. But think back before that. There was a time where there was no bully. The bully wasn't there from day one. You didn't start kindy and the bully was already there on the first day of kindy. Maybe there was, of kindergarten. For many, it starts later as we get older and become more self-aware. Self-conscious is the word, of who we are becoming. So these are the questions. What were we thinking? What were we feeling? What energy were we emitting into the universe of who we are? Because this is what is attracting the bully towards you. This was an experience that you needed to have. I know you're probably sitting there going, what? What did you just say? Okay, look, every experience that we have, right? If you're looking at it from an awakened perspective, okay, you're awake, you are self-aware, you are aware that you are spirit in human form. Every experience is here for you to gain knowledge, for you to gain wisdom. You're here gathering information. The soul is, anyway, the soul is. So you're going through this experience and you're being bullied every day at school. And the real questions should be, okay, what did I gain from that experience? On a soul level. On the human level, you're forever going to be the victim. Oh, that happened to me, that bully that smacked me around every day while I was at school, humiliated me in front of everyone. And whatever else you want to add to that pile of being the victim, that is the human experience. But why was that bully there? Why were you bullied when so many others weren't? Why were you bullied when I wasn't? And I should have been, if it had anything to do with how I looked. Now, if I was focusing on the fact that I had short hair and I looked like a boy, if I was focusing on the fact that I was wearing glasses and I looked like a complete nerd, and at the time hardly anyone was wearing glasses. I think I can't remember anyone else wearing glasses around me. If I was focused on how I looked and how different I was to everyone else, if I was focusing on that, then yes, maybe I would have been bullied. But I wasn't concerned with any of that at all. It never crossed my mind to think that I was different in any way. It never crossed my mind to think anything apart from, what am I going to learn today? What am I going to read today that I haven't read yet? So, why were you bullied when so many others weren't? This is how we look at our lives from an awakened perspective. Why was the bully there? Now we've looked at the bully and where the bully comes from. It comes from a place of pain, comes from a place of suffering. Even if at the time they looked like they were laughing, they looked like they were having a good time and all the rest of it, that person still has to live with what they're doing. And when we are unkind to others, when we do things that hurt others, it hurts us. We have to live with that inside, that we've done this to someone else. There are two beautiful quotes from the Bible that come forward. The first is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Everything that we do to others, we do to ourselves. And perhaps at this point of your awakening, you don't understand this quote yet. But everything we do to others, we do to ourselves. And for me, this became very clear when I started doing Reiki. Every time I did a session for someone, whatever came through for them, in the following days, I would be gifted the same. Every time, without fail. Every time. Whatever came through, whatever gift they were given in that moment, I was given for facilitating that, for being there, for saying yes to offering this service to that person. What we do for others, what we do to others, we do for ourselves, we do to ourselves. Think about it. It goes with that beautiful expression from Neil Donald Walsh, there's only one of us in the room. It is all spirit. You are spirit, and so is your bully. And that bully was serving you in your experience. It is up to you to know for yourself what you were meant to gain from that experience. At the time, did you believe that you weren't good enough in some way? You didn't measure up to this bully? Did you feel you were weak? And this bully is just confirming that. Look how weak you are, that I can just push you over like that. Did you believe you weren't smart and so deserved being pushed around for being dumb, stupid? I don't know what other words people use for themselves. What beliefs did you have in place? Because this is what was attracting that bully to focus on you. That bully is a reflection of what you are feeling inside. They are showing you the beliefs that you have put in place. And it feels so bad. Why does it feel so bad? Because it's not true. Anything that is not true, any belief that you have about yourself, any thought that you have about yourself that isn't the truth, will make you feel bad. When you say, I am joy, how does that make you feel? When you say, I am love, how does that make you feel? When you say, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve, how does that make you feel? And these are beliefs that we create about who we are in our childhood, because we were meant to have that experience. The moment you realize that you were always enough, you were always good enough, that you do deserve love. Perhaps in that moment you felt you were unsupported. You can't defend yourself. You have no one to defend you, no one to stand up for you. You feel unsupported, and this is what you are playing out in your life. This is what you came to experience. Because the moment you realize that this was all created for you, this world was created for you to come and have these beautiful human experiences, you will begin to understand how supported you truly are. Perhaps in those moments where you're being bullied, you feel so alone. I went through that in my depressions. I felt so alone in this world. So alone and so unsupported. And that is part of the human experience. When we feel alone, it's because we feel that we are separate from God. We couldn't be further away from God if we tried. And yet, we are never separate. We are always connected. But in our human experience, this is the illusion that we are all alone, that we are unsupported. This is what we came to experience. What does it feel like to be all alone and unsupported? And others make you feel weak and powerless. You can't defend yourself. You can't stand up for yourself. You're not strong enough to fight off this massive bully. By the way, they're all beliefs. So, my beautiful beings, what were you believing about yourself when all of that was going on? Because the moment you realize, oh, I believed that I wasn't strong enough. Oh, I believed that I wasn't smart enough. Oh, I believed that I wasn't fill in the blank enough. The moment you realize that it was just a belief but not the truth of who you are, you will see that experience for what it was. And it has made you who you are today. You know, yesterday I was talking to my beautiful friend in New Zealand. We have a lot of conversations. We talk almost every day. And one of the conversations was that, you know, I already knew when I'd finished writing Your Past is a Gift. It's one of the last chapters. I'm pretty sure it's in there. If not, that realization had already come through. That one day I was sitting there thinking, hang on a minute. I have all these judgments about my mum smacking me and my mum yelling at me and all of this. I have all these judgments, all these beliefs around that it was bad, that it was wrong, that all of this. And yet, I am here going through my first awakening. If I'd have had a loving mum that doted on me, that I felt completely loved and completely supported, would I be here? Would I have written this book? Would I have awakened? And in that moment, I realized I wouldn't change a single thing. Not a single thing. Because everything I've been through has got me to this moment where I am right now. And even if you're awake for 2 seconds, those 2 seconds are worth it. It's worth a lifetime of pain and suffering to be awake even for just 2 seconds. Because that pain and that suffering is what allowed the awakening in the first place. It's like the crack in the egg. You are the egg. And the pain and the suffering are all the cracks. Until one day that egg cracks open and you see for the first time. You see the truth. So, my beautiful beings, love all of it. Love, give love for everything. It has brought you here to where you are today. And perhaps you are on the verge of your first awakening. All of it leads to this moment, all of it without exception. All of it is there to show you that you are more than enough, that you are supported, that you are loved, that you have never been alone, not for 1 second, not even for a millisecond. All right, my beautiful beings, I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And let me know in the comments, what were the beliefs that were in place about who you were when you were going through all of that? Who did you think you were Love you guys. Bye for now.